Alright guys, Jackzer here. So, Season 2 Devblog posted by Greg Hill on the iRacing website. Today we're going to go through it, give you the highlights, just look at all the interesting bits that I find cool. For those of you that do want to do a deep dive though, the link will be in the description. But for those of you that want the fun Jackzer highlight, hang around. We're going to have a good time here and let's see what's cooking for Season 2 and the near future. Before we get started, guys, I really want to know from you, what one feature are you really looking forward to in, let's say, the next 6 months? For me, it's the new UI with like the in-house relative and all that kind of stuff. Really looking forward to that. But what are you looking forward to? Let me know down below. And while you're down there, smack that like button if you like the video. So let's crack on. So to open it up, Greg Hill talks about that they had the triple, they had the Roar, they had the Daytona 24 and the Daytona 500, which kept them very busy. But they did say that they have had significant investment and growth in their development teams, which means they have never had anywhere near close the kind of projects, significant projects on the go and tech initiatives in the works all happening at the same time. So he says, in this update, I will touch on some of these initiatives and set expectations for the upcoming Season 2 build. So Season 2 is around the corner. We have a great set of cars, tracks, improvements and new features in store. Let's have a look at the upcoming content. So they talk about how the ARCA car is one of the most popular oval racing cars in the whole of iRacing, with over 100,000 total drivers each week. So there's a lot going on here, but the one is a little bit old that is currently in the game. So here's a nice screenshot from it. Looks kind of cool. It does need a big refresh. Anyone that bought the ARCA car and within the past year, I believe, will receive within 1 year of the release of the new car will receive credit. So that's kind of handy. And also, in addition to the new ARCA release, there will be an update of another popular car, the Legends Ford 34C. So that's been around for quite a while, and this update will be applied to the existing car package. The rebuild incorporates our latest physics, art advancements, and the car looks great and drives even better. So it's also mentioned that the GTP and LMP2 cars, about their whole tire model situation, that they did realize that they did miss the mark a bit when they released the last tire model thing. The cornering performance was way off, and iRacers were justifiably let down by this lapse. Together with a much needed but yet to be delivered update of our hybrid system modeling, the release did not measure up. It is and always has been our mission at iRacing to provide the most realistic simulation racing experience possible, bar none. When it became clear that we did not hit the mark with the release, and with the deservedly high expectations of iRacers and sim racers, our team rallied and came up with a plan to attack the issue with urgency and make things right. So he goes on to explain that the plan was comprised of different phases. Phase 1 was a comprehensive reconstruction of the physical, tires and compositions, utilizing new real-world data and adjusted, expanded testing practices. This included all GTP cars and LMP2. We have spent the last 3 months on this update, and we've collaborated with several racing drivers, including professionals racing at the pinnacle of motorsport in the world's top racing series. Good. Phase 2 is a complete overhaul of the hybrid system to bring it up to date with the design of the current real-world cars and appropriate rule sets. So they say Phase 1 is ready to go and will ship with Season 2. They're thrilled with the effort that the team put into this and the quality of the result. However, we do need to set expectations. The former release missed the mark primarily in high-speed cornering performance, which resulted in too much grip. The adjusted model is true to life and can be a handful at times, especially when the tires are cold. iRacers should reacquaint themselves with their favorite GTP or LMP2s in test sessions before jumping into a race with their iRacing peers. Practice leaving the pit safely and establishing warmth in the tires. What you will experience will give you a greater appreciation for the skill involved in piloting these technologically cutting-edge and high-performance race cars in the real world. And the Phase 2 hybrid system updates remains on track for Season 3. So a lot of information there, but the GTPs and the LMP2s, you've been heard. For those of you that are interested in them, I personally like the GTP cars, so I'm going to be very curious to see how they drive now, and really looking forward to kind of getting used to them. I do know in real life, getting warmth in the tires is a big deal, especially the front tires in those kind of cars, so it's going to be really cool to see how they drive. I'm really looking forward to that. Also, Season 2 will see the debut of a great track we've wanted to add for some time but not had the opportunity to scan until recently, Portland International Raceway. So you can check it out here. Here are some photos from it. Looks cool. Looks like it's missing some things here and there, but it's going to be an interesting track to give a go. So more tracks for us, the merrier. One thing I love is learning a new track, don't you? They also talk about the refresh that they want to do on some of the tracks, which is really cool. So there's going to be Bristol, Darlington, Dover, Homestead, Kansas, Las Vegas, and Iowa are receiving major visual and structural updates. Many will be free for current owners. And something that's awesome is the expanded 3D curb. So another track related update with the Season 2 build will have greatly expanded list of tracks that support 3D curbing. This system requires per track customization to ensure accuracy and results in a more dynamic racing experience. We look forward to the release of the 3D curbs at Jerez, Aragon, Sandown, VIR, Winton, Rudskoden and Hockenheim. Barcelona and Road America are on the bubble as to whether they will be in S2 or available later. So they might be coming in Season 2. I'd love to see a Road America with a curb refresh. That'd be truly amazing. But you can have a look at this detailed photo showing the detail in the curbing. Like each curb is it's very individual. It's very custom. Like you can see these teeth here on the inside, and then it goes to the more steeper stuff. It's really interesting. We've seen tracks like Okayama and stuff. It's very, very, vicious the curbs are, and you can really exploit the curbs up until their little edge, and you can see the way it raises up. So it's more aggressive out here, but whilst driving here, there's less of an impact to grip. So I do like the curbs, the 3D curbing they've done, and I'd like to see more of it on tracks. It's really cool stuff. They talk about Season 2 will also see the debut of new sim features and functionality. So the Debris Refresh. Phase 2 improves this system with significant tweaks to rendering and dynamic modeling and the all-new inclusion of local debris cautions. Local debris cautions are informative only, and the work has begun to exercise our minds regarding the future expanded road course caution support. Now, this part's very interesting. Look at this. Poor connection flag. Your connection is poor. You are not being scored. Very interesting. So if someone is blinking, it says your connection is unstable. We cannot safely allow you to return to the race until it improves. You may choose to wait for your connection to improve or attempt to resolve the issue. Alternatively, you can practice in a ghost car without being scored. Your real car will remain in the pits while you are ghost driving. So you can press ghost drive, or you can dismiss it and wait in the pits until you are back out to race. This is amazing. Finally, some justice. So the blinkers will vamos. It can happen to anyone. But it's you know yourself when you're trying to cut through the field and you have some extraordinary pace, and then all of a sudden you're met with a blinker and you just don't feel comfortable enough to go side by side because the car is just moving all over the place. So this is going to be super interesting. They say there are a few sim racing experiences more frustrating than being out on track with racers who are dealing with networking problems. Networking problems can manifest in various ways, such as cars blinking in and out of existence as connections improve or worsen. While our netcode is robust and powered by decades of experience and refinement, there is a limit to what can be done when connections are severely compromised. To improve the experience for all, we have implemented a new connection flag system. This system will flag racers whose connection are insufficient and automatically pull them back into the pits until their connection improves. If they wish, they can disconnect and try improve the problem. They can wait, or they can ghost drive. Once the connection does improve, they will be allowed to resume their race from the pits. It's nice. It makes like an intermediate place between kind of getting DC'd. When you lose connection altogether and it's like, bang, you're out of the race. You've lost connection. Your internet is shit the bed. This makes like a halfway point. It's like, right, you're still here, but, you're here and not here, not here, and here, all that kind of stuff. So while you're in the here, not here phase, how about you go wait in the pits until you're back here? Really cool stuff. They also mentioned that in Season 2, but there is a chance they hold this back. Adaptive AI. So rather than having the percentages, they're going to be able to have a hard, medium, or easy. But one person's hard might be another person's medium. So the system will adapt to you and provide the experience that is requested, which is really cool. The system stands the test of time and will be the first of many improvements on the way for AI racing. That's one thing that's really cool, because I find it hard to judge the percentage. So it'll put you in a good race and it'll race you hard for AI, which is definitely cool, because racing AI is always a nice way to get some decent practice in overtakes, defending, all that sort of stuff. So there is also going to be a lighting model debut in Season 2. So this is pretty cool, but it's going to improve how light interacts with cars and the environment, simply put. Here's new lighting, tuning track roughness. So kind of how it just bounces off things. Better lighting is always great. Graphics is one thing, but the actual lighting is a very big thing. There's also going to be an expanded language support in the launcher UI. So more languages coming in, because people from all over the world are on iRacing. So that's very cool, that is. So one important thing is that Season 2 will also feature hundreds of additional fixes and improvements, which are too numerous to mention here, but they will certainly be covered extensively in the upcoming release notes. So I'll be covering that as well on the channel, but for now, they just mentioned that there are a lot of fixes. In regards to the new Sim UI, so they did say that they would have really loved it to be out in this release, but they said That said, we are always and have been committed to delivering iRacers the best experience possible, and we need a bit more time to hit the required quality standard. As many of us who are developers know, the last 10% of a project can be a real bear and requires extensive effort, detailed work, testing, iteration, and fit and finish. We're really proud of what we're building, and the future of the new UI framework will provide for the expansion of functionality and new features. So it's coming soon, but I don't think we're going to be getting it in Season 2. It's nice the way there's always loads of updates. I'm really curious to see the new UI because that's like one thing I really want to see. I'm very curious to see your comments of what kind of features you're looking forward to. Now, let's go over some of their future projects and initiatives before they wrap up things and prepare for Season 2. So there's the graphics. So obviously there's some pretty fancy screenshots here of how how the shadows are interacting with the world. But they mentioned basically just they want to push their engine. They want to create an engine that is like very it's precision focused on sim racing, to meet sim racing's needs and stuff like that, whilst also leveraging the technology and amazing advancements there has been out there already. So for example, they're talking about work that has been done on shadow appearance and performance seen in the current render. This is the video below, I believe. As mentioned and earlier, we are currently working on a new... So like, for example, they mentioned stuff like recent advancements in the project include support passes defined by shaders, improved culling, support for array, cube, and 3D textures. They mentioned how their principal graphics engineer shared a new system, shadow system, that will dramatically improve how shadows work, firstly, how they look, and how their performance is in the current render. So, which is kind of cool. Here's like a picture of clouds being properly lit. So here's the new one, and then here's the current one. So they're not matching the lighting of the actual scene. So they did say have some patience when it comes to the graphics side of things, but for example, lighting improvements will debut in Season 2. So they are giving us drips and drabs, but in general, it is a big old project. They talk about a lot going on in the AI. And again, if you really want to get deep into this, you can check it out in the link down below if you want to link to the blog. But they talk about AI. They talk about the audio team. They did mention stuff like reflections, sound reflections going under a bridge in a tunnel, all that kind of stuff. Really nice to know. They're pushing it from all angles here, which is savage. They talked about the anti-cheat and anti-tamper. So for fair competition and their security of their data, which is savage. Now, a very interesting one. They say we continue to invest research and development energy and priority into the exploration and development of new features and functionality powered by AI technology. As we shared publicly late last year, we have partnered with a world-leading AI technology experts at Microsoft Research to co-innovate together and further the science of AI research while also building new systems and experiences for iRacers. Our collaboration will advance our goals of developing AI-powered driving coaching/cruise systems, among many other opportunities. We have focused our efforts on a system designed to assist racers in piloting their cars around the track with better guidance and support. This should dramatically enhance the learning trajectory of iRacers as well as support veterans with more precision. So iRacing are making their own racing coach. It's not clear to where it is now, but like, for example, if you wanted to try it out or if you wanted to look at what it could currently look like, you can check out Trophy AI. They're our channel partner. But they kind of have something like that. They've been pushing that now for quite a while, and theirs is pretty nifty. So if it's anything like theirs, that should be really cool. They say I could continue with many other development initiatives, but like always, there will be future opportunities to share more about these projects and many more in the works you'll learn about soon. However, before we conclude, let me run through some updates on future cars and tracks in the works. So there's a mention that there's another Ferrari in the works, which is pretty cool. I wonder what that is. There's the track Adelaide, there's Miami, there's Autodrome Hermanos Rodriguez. There's a lot of stuff in the works, but in general, that's pretty much the lot. Here's some cool screenshots. This is the helmet they were speaking about. So like they're looking to have a different kind of helmet rather than just have the one helmet, which is pretty neat. So this is a kind of new model, and then it could be designed as such. Down here we can see the adaptive AI being used in AI, so you can actually have the adaptive AI switched on and then it'll match. Like, let's say you put on hard but you're much better, they will give you a hard experience, which is savage. Or there's the fixed skill range where it's like it won't leave there. So AI drivers will adapt to your skill throughout the race. Really, really cool stuff. Here we have a picture inside. This is a cool photograph. Gen 4 preview. A lot has changed since NASCAR Racing 2003. Look at this. From that to that. Pretty cool, to be honest, seeing that. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, we have the cool car curbs here. We have the Arca with the digital dash and that kind of stuff. Track refresh. just a bit more detail, you know. Look at this, just some really, really, really cool stuff. So guys, that was the highlight of the Season 2 development blog. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to hang around, subscribe for more.